Hello and welcome to another episode on Sports for the People. Today I am joined by Dan.
Hello.
Hello, and Jay again.
Peace out.
Peace out. Well, peace in, hopefully. We're just starting. But yeah, today we're going to be discussing a combined Arsenal versus Tottenham team of the decade. So from 2010 to 2020. So we'll go to you first, Dan. I'm going to ask for your goalkeeper.
It was a tough one in a way because I really wanted to put Leno in because I really like him. I think he's a great keeper. But unfortunately, I would have to go Lloris because he's been there for a lot of years. He's French captain. He's just won a World Cup. And he has been, last couple of years, he's been a bit inconsistent for Tottenham. But I think overall, he's been a good keeper for Tottenham. He's been a good server. And to be honest, Cech wasn't at Arsenal long enough. He was in his older age and all that. And Chesney, there's no one really could compare to Lloris really in that decade, personally. So
I put Lloris in, and like I said, I think obviously Cech is the record clean sheet holder in the Premier League. If you were counting his time in Chelsea, he'd definitely be in there over Lloris. But if we're just going on his Arsenal career, last 2 years started to decline quite a lot. I think he had a good couple of first 2 seasons. I think he won the Golden Glove for us, maybe or maybe not. And also Chesney would be the other one I'd be looking at for Arsenal. But like I said, he's gone on to bigger and better things. So while he was at the club, nothing too major. Jay, I'm assuming you've gone for Lloris.
I did, and I've been very calm about trying to choose the best Arsenal players. But I looked through the goalkeepers, and you've had Fabianski, Almunia, Spina, Vito Benoni, and Lloris has been there since 2012, number one for 8 years. You can't really compare with that. I don't think. No,
like I said, I don't think either of us are going to try and argue with you too much on that position. So we'll go to the defence. We'll go to Jay first.
Where do you want central defence?
If you're both playing 4 at the back, we'll go right back first, shall we?
Right back, I've gone Kyle Walker. I know he's left Tottenham a couple of years ago, but good 6-7 years for Tottenham. Can't see anyone better than him in the right back position in the Premier League, personally.
What, right now or in the last 10 years?
In the last 10 years.
Azpilicueta, I'd probably go. I'd probably say Azpilicueta when he's played there. Trent, obviously, in the last 2-3 years.
Yeah, but 2-3 years. But Kyle Walker's been doing it for a good amount of years, I would say. So that's why I've gone for Kyle Walker.
Yeah, no, I can see the reasoning. I actually have gone Kyle Walker as well for mine. I've got back 4. There's only one Arsenal player, which I'm assuming Dan would probably put up there, and it wouldn't be Bellerin for me. It would probably be more like Bakary Sagna. But Dan?
I have gone Bakary Sagna as right back. I have. I think when he was very, very good at Arsenal as a right back. I remember he won the FA Cup, didn't he?
It was his last game, I think.
Arsenal fans were desperate for him to stay, weren't they? Remember when they were on the bus top parade?
Yeah.
They were chanting back and saying, "We want you to stay" and everything. Kyle Walker is a good right back. I don't think he's amazing. I think he's consistent, but I think Bakary Sagna for me was a very good right back. He did all the basics right. It's a shame he didn't stay at Arsenal for longer.
To be fair,
he won a trophy for Arsenal and he was consistent. I personally think at his prime, he was better than Walker. But.
To be fair, I did contemplate between Walker and Sagna because I did actually quite appreciate Bakary Sagna for his good player. But
I thought Bakary Sagna, like you said, Dan, I thought Sagna was very, very consistent. And that's why I'll talk about my left back in a bit. My left back might be a bit controversial, but Sagna.
Hey, another play, Keaton. You won't get it, but who I used to rate a lot, you could play that position. I used to like Boué. I thought he was really good going down the flanks, and I liked Boué.
Oh, he turned into a bit of a joke player at points, didn't he? But yeah, he when he was on his game, he bloody bombing up and down the wing, but he wasn't consistent. Like you said, Walker and Sagna, you're pretty much guaranteed a 7 out of 10 performance every game. It's a toss-up between them two for me, and I did go for Walker, to be honest. But yeah, we'll go centre-backs now, and I think you're both playing 2 at the back. So we'll go down to you first.
This for me is so easy. It's clearly Alderweireld or the Batonga, and it's just there's no other part from it. For me, Alderweireld 2 seasons ago was the best centre-back in the Premier League. 2 or 3 years ago, he was absolutely phenomenal centre-back for Tottenham. Man United wanted him, Atletico Madrid wanted him back, Barca, they all wanted him. For some reason, he stayed at Tottenham. And for me, when he was partnering Vertonghen at the back, they formed like a brilliant partnership. And all that. I thought Vertonghen's one of the most underrated defenders in the Premier League, and I thought they built a real good partnership at the back. Tottenham were always hard to break down, and unfortunately Arsenal never had that since the olden days. So for me, it would have to be Alderweireld and Vertonghen.
See, I've gone for one Arsenal player, and I just as we were talking there, I've actually just remembered another Tottenham player that I thought he was gone by that point, which is Ledley King. He was still at the club at 2012, and Ledley King for me is probably one of the best centre-backs I've seen play when he was on form and when he was actually fit. And that would be the issue for not...
He was so good, Ledley King. He was so good.
But I would not pick him because of the injury issues, despite the fact of his talent. But my back two was actually Alderweireld and Koscielny. I thought Koscielny was immense for us for 6 years, I think, because he was here for 8, I think. But his first 2 seasons were a bit dodgy. He kept on... got a few own goals and red cards, but for 6 seasons, I thought he was outstanding in the Premier League. I thought he was in the top 3 centre-backs, personally.
The other thing you get with Alderweireld and Vertonghen, though,
it's a partnership.
You get leadership as well as a partnership. You get leaders, and like Koscielny, for me, is not a leader. I know he was captain for Arsenal, but he wasn't a leader. You always need a leader at the back.
I thought Koscielny was a leader. I thought there was many performances of Koscielny.
Like Keaton, Chelsea have had Terry, Man City have had Company.
Yeah, none of them are on their level.
They've had Vidic, you know what I mean? They have proper leaders. Like for me, Koscielny's not a leader for me.
But the problem is, if you're holding everyone up to Tony Adams and John Terry, you're never going to have a leader because they are unique. They are just
I know that,
aren't they?
But for me, Alderweireld and Vertonghen, for me, are more of a leader, in my personal opinion, to Koscielny, personally.
Yeah, no, that's the whole point of the show. Jay, I'm assuming you've probably gone for the 2 Tottenham lads?
No, this may surprise you. I've gone Koscielny as well.
Good. I like it.
I think he's a very good player. I feel like he's not got the leadership skills that Dan's on about, but in terms of someone you want defending.
I always thought he had a good heart. He had a good heart. He was always willing to throw his body in front of the line. The amount of times I've seen him, like John Terry, when he got kicked in the head, Koscielny, that could have happened to Koscielny many times. Many times he threw his body in front of the line.
Yeah, no, I've gone Alderweireld, Koscielny, because I think, honestly, best 2 centre-backs I've seen in the last 10 years, I would say.
Yeah, no, I said I agree with Jay there. I've got Jay's team so far. I think me and Jay have got it bang on together. This is where we're going to go to left back, and this is where I reckon I might surprise a few people. I reckon I can guess who Jay's going to go for pretty easily. I'm going to say you're going for Danny Rose, but me personally, I've got Nacho Monreal. Nothing spectacular going forward, but he is 100% one of the most consistent players I think I have seen in the Premier League. Now, he never come away from a game with like a 5 out of 10 rating. It was always 7 out of 10 and above. He was never a poor player on that team, despite the fact how poor our teams have been. And he's popped up with a couple of important goals. If I remember, I think FA Cup semi-final goal against Man City, and a few quite important ones in the league. I can't remember who against, but I remember being like, what the hell's Monreal doing there? So Jay, should we go for yours?
I've definitely gone Danny Rose. Literally on his day, that boy is unplayable. But he's not consistent. That's one of the things. I struggled with the left back, to be honest. We've
not had great left backs, have we? The both of us for the last 10 years.
Yeah, I didn't know anyone in the Arsenal team that I would think on their day just wanted to play better than Rose. So I was struggling with that one.
No, I do agree. Like Danny Rose on his day was probably a better player than Nacho Monreal, but I would go Monreal because you would get the consistency. And like I said, I've never seen, I don't think anyone in an Arsenal shirt in the last 10 years be as consistent as Monreal. Dan, who would you go for?
I've gone Nacho Monreal because, he is very consistent. He reminds me, he's like a James Milner at left back. He's got an engine. He always gives it his all. And like you say, he will work for the team and all that. And another thing about Monreal is he's very versatile because he plays centre back in a partnership with 3. very good at that, and he played at left back. So for me, you don't just get like someone who's consistent; you get someone who's versatile as well in your team, and I think that can add another element to your game. And I think for me, Monreal was very good. I also liked, he wouldn't get in there, but I also like Kieran Gibbs. I thought he's an Arsenal lad. I thought he gave it his all and everything. But yeah, he would have to go Monreal. He played for Spain, World Cup winner for Spain. But I would have to go Nacho Monreal with Danny Rose. I think Danny Rose, he's very, he's good, he's quick, but he's not very consistent. And for me, he doesn't seem really interested anymore because he's had a lot of abuse, hasn't he? There's all the racism with him and everything as well. And he says he wanted to retire from football.
That's the thing I would say about Danny Rose is he's a fierce competitor. On his day, you cannot play him. He's literally just unreal. But that is true. He's not on his game enough. Yeah. You know, he's just like, playing Norwich away, whatever.
Yeah.
Kill people.
I think that, like you said, that comes down to consistency over like higher ceiling potentially. But like I said, everyone's got their choices, and I've gone for consistency. So is Dan. You've gone for hoping that he's going to play his best every day. Now we've got midfield. Now you've both gone different formations. So Jay's gone for a 4-4-2, and Dan's gone for a 4-2-3-1. So what we'll do now is do the midfield two. So we'll go for Jay first. So who are your midfield two?
Well, very controversial. Very controversial. My first pick for centre mid, and you guys are going to hate me as an Arsenal fans, Aaron Ramsey.
See that? I do not hate that. I do not hate that at all because Aaron Ramsey, I love him. Great player with us for like 9-10 seasons, something like that.
That one season, didn't he? Remember 2013-14, that one season.
Yeah, it was amazing. Agreed. But I wouldn't, if you're playing the team and you're playing a 4-4-2, I would not have Aaron Ramsey in a 2. If you're playing a 4-3-3, you could perhaps have Ramsey. He's not. Every time he played in a 2 with Arsenal, he always got overrun in the midfield. I don't think he was ever positionally disciplined enough to play in the 2. Great player, 100%. But that's
maybe I haven't thought about positionally, but I would say the only player I've ever been jealous Arsenal have had over the years has been Ramsey.
Well, that you can get in the bin. You can get in the bin with that comment. Thierry Henry.
Goals, Keaton, as well.
Nah, seriously, Henry. I used to sign him on Football Manager, but Ramsey just.
Ramsey, I love Ramsey, and if he wants to come back to the Premier League, he can come back to Arsenal, and we'll give him $200,000 a week or $250. But it's not going to happen when he's on $400,000 a week, is it?
Exactly. So that's my midfield. Second is Modric.
Yeah.
Player.
100% agree. Modric is in my team. Like I said, I haven't picked Aaron Ramsey in my actual 11, to be fair. Dan, what about you, mate?
So for me, gone Cazorla.
Yeah, that's who I've got.
For me, Santi Cazorla was on both feet. You didn't even know if he was right-footed or left-footed. He was brilliant going forward. He had so much vision. And surprisingly enough, he was good at defending. Like, he used to press up and everything. He won a couple of FA Cups of Arsenal. I remember that great free kick he scored against Hull. Do you remember in the final? Absolutely phenomenal. And obviously, he's won trophies for Spain. I mean, he's still playing now for Villarreal.
If you want to watch a good video, Villarreal's last game, Santi Cazorla produced probably the best assist I've seen in La Liga this season. Absolutely phenomenal. And if you want to watch it after this, I highly recommend it. It's unbelievable. Considering he's 36, I think he's actually the third top goal contributor in La Liga this season, which is insane considering how bad Villarreal have been this year.
And his work rate and everything for me. And I thought he actually had a really good partnership, I thought, with Coquelin. I thought they used to gel together. And I thought we could have done really well with them too. But I think, personally, Cazorla should be there. And I've also gone, this is controversial. The reason why I haven't picked Modric is because Modric was not at Tottenham
during his team.
He was only there for 2 seasons, Modric. No, don't get me wrong, he's world class. Like Real Madrid, he's absolutely world class. But the one player I would always wanted from Tottenham to Arsenal was Christian Eriksen. I thought he was class.
You're not putting him in a
Eriksen.
2, though, surely. That's the same with Aaron Ramsey.
Well,
You put him at,
I'm going by. Yeah, but I'm going. No, I'm going as. I'm not going as like a balance. I'm going as like overall quality. You know what I mean?
Oh, see, I've gone for the balance. I've gone for the Cazorla Modric duo. I think those two with ball control and the
You
midfield.
wanted assists, Keaton, or a kick. You would want Eriksen.
Yeah, but you've got Cazorla for that.
I think
Right,
Eriksen.
I've got a question for you both.
Mm.
Where do you stand on? Because the two that I was thinking was going to be Özil and Dembele.
Musa Dembele came into my thinking for the 2. He wouldn't be in there in Ozil. You can't put Ozil in a 4-4-2, no chance.
No.
But you can't. Dembele would come into my thinking, yes, 100%. But I just think the control Modric and Cazorla would have over a midfield. I think you wouldn't get the ball off them. You wouldn't. They'd keep that ball so well. You go to tackle them, they turn you, they pass it to the other one, then they pass it. It would remind me of Iniesta. Both of them remind me of Iniesta. Quite small players, good ball control, can dribble past a few players, then lay off.
Do you think Modric was at Tottenham long enough?
Yes and no. His best years have definitely been at Real Madrid. Obviously, he won the Ballon d'Or, blah, blah, blah.
Eriksen, he proved it at Tottenham for more than 2 years.
Eriksen was close. I've got a list of forwards, and I think forwards is where we're going to have our biggest debate because over the last 10 years, Arsenal have had some absolute.
There's no debate.
There is debate, so we will be having some. Because I actually have only one Tottenham player in my front 4, so I think that's going to be a bit disappointing to Jay. But yeah, I just think Modric. I know he only had 2 years, but the potential was there to see. And I think him and Cazorla, like I said, that's why I've picked my team as a balance, and I just think those two in midfield would be unbelievable.
But I think also Cazorla, he can play that deep line playmaker as well.
Yeah,
take
exactly.
back and defend. So I think it would work. I could see it actually working because of Eriksen, I think.
Yeah, well, that's why I've gone 4-2-3-1. Personally, I know Jay's gone 4-4-2. So Jay, we'll go for you with your 2 wingers now then.
Oh, mate, this is going to
This is
upset
tough.
everyone.
This is horrible, the wingers.
It's easy for me. Gareth Bale,
Yeah.
no debate. And Son. Don't even feel like I need to say words.
You picked.
Well, I feel like you do because I feel like me and Dan are definitely not going to agree with that.
Your
Go
pick,
for it.
do you mean Son?
Okay.
Son, who's played. That's all right. Have your opinion. It's
No,
fine.
Son definitely came into it for me. I think he's a fantastic player, and I'd happily have him at Arsenal, and I do really rate Son.
I like him. I do like him.
I think he's a great player. But in my 4-2-3-1, so I'll go to compare. I'll do my 2 widest wingers because I've gone for a number 10 and a striker rather than 2 strikers. So my 2 wide players were Gareth Bale, 100%, 2 PFA Player of the Years. The only person to win it twice in the last 10 years. And he won the Young Player thing as well at the same time as his first one.
Yeah.
He had 2 or 3 absolute unbelievable seasons. You can't not have Gareth Bale in that team, despite what's happening to him now at Real Madrid. He lit that Premier League up. And next to Suarez, and a man that I will mention later on, I think he had probably the best individual season in the Premier League over the last 10 years. Because he was unplayable at one point. And on my other side, I've played Aubameyang on the right, so Bale can have the left. I don't see how you can leave Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang out. I know it's only been 3 years, but he's recently scored his 50th Premier League goal in 77 appearances. That's quicker than Harry Kane got there. That's quicker than a lot of other players have got there. I think he's 6th in the Premier League for getting to 50 goals. I think since he's been at Arsenal, he's equal with Mohamed Salah for goals scored in the Premier League. I think it's just unbelievable, and I can't see leaving out Aubameyang. And I'm sure Dan's probably going to stick him in there as well.
So for right wing, because he's always been good at cutting aside, I've got to go Gareth Bale. Like you both agree, he was a phenomenal player. And I remember his free kicks. He scored a cracker against West Ham away at Upton Park. I don't know if you remember. He hit a free kick 30 yards out.
I remember.
I'm thinking, how is that even possible? You think of like Roberto Carlos, Beckham, Janini, people like that taking free kicks. And then you see that. I mean, for me, like you say, Bale, that last season when he was at Tottenham, he was unplayable, literally. He was like Suarez and Thierry Henry season.
Yeah.
He was literally the best player that year. On the left, I've got to go Aubameyang. For him to beat Henry to 50 goals, that clearly makes him in that team, because Thierry Henry is the greatest ever striker to play in the league. For me, he doesn't just score goals, he can get assists, he's work rate. I just think he's absolutely phenomenal. Heung-min Son, I like him, but is he world class? Is he?
I mean, I've put Son on the wing because I wouldn't have classed Aubameyang as a right winger. I haven't put him on my team because I've put another Arsenal striker in there instead. So
yeah, I know. Like you said, you've gone for a 4-4-2, so like I can understand not having Ober on the right midfield position, but we've gone 4-2-3-1, so we've gone wingers.
And it is a toss up between the striker that I've gone for and Aubameyang, because Aubameyang is class. Not to lie, quality player.
Yeah, I agree. So we'll go to our front twos now. Like I said, I've gone for more of a CAM and a striker role, and I think Dan's done the same. So for our CAM, I've gone for Alexis Sanchez. I don't think there was a better player in the league when he had his last 2 seasons at Arsenal. I thought, again, like Bale, I thought he was absolutely unplayable at times. West Ham hat-trick was probably one of my favourite hat-tricks when he finished it with a step over the ball and put the keeper on his ass and dinked over him. I think that was absolutely amazing. And he drove that team to whatever they did. Alexis was always at the heart of it. Dan, what about you? Have you gone Ozil? Or Ericsson?
No, I said Ericsson, haven't I? I've gone, Alexis Sanchez. Like I said, I mean, I would have put him on the wing, on the left wing, but I can't leave Aubameyang out of that team. Alexis, for me, he can play right wing, attacking centre mid, or on the left wing. He was phenomenal. That's
Dan,
2 amazing seasons.
Very sorry to interrupt, but Tottenham are losing 1-0.
Oh, don't say that. I'm 20 seconds behind.
Oh, Keaton, it's 0-0.
Don't do that.
Sorry, Dan, carry on.
Thank you.
What was I saying? Who was I on about then?
Alexis Sanchez.
Yeah, he had 2 great seasons at Arsenal. He was nearly top goal scorer in one of them seasons as well. Tottenham are woeful, aren't they?
What a goal.
What a goal, yeah. Tottenham were woeful. I literally forgot what I was on about now.
Alexis Sanchez having a banging season. I think
how amazing Alexis Sanchez.
Right. Yeah, Alexis Sanchez.
He won the Player of the Year. I think it was Kante won it. I think it was the Leicester season.
Payet, wasn't it?
No, Payet didn't win Player of the Year. I think it was either Kante or Mahrez won it the year that Alexis Sanchez should have won PFA Player of the Year that year, and how he didn't. I think it would have been the Leicester year, and they gave it to a Leicester player. So it might have been the Mahrez year. But yeah, he was phenomenal.
Yeah, it might have been Mahrez.
Yeah, I don't know how you're not putting Alexis in that team in the last 10 years. But I'm assuming Jay hasn't, and I'm going to go for my striker because I know Jay hates my opinion. Oh, no, I can see Jay's reaction.
How is it 1-0? Was it Harry Kane?
Harry Kane's on the pitch, that's why.
Oh, I've got Harry Kane to score in my bet, so I'm happy with that. Don't worry about it. And talking about Harry Kane, he's not in this team. For me, I've put Robin van Persie up front. I think
instead of Kane.
I think Robin van Persie at the start of the 2011, 2012, 2013, absolutely. Like he was the one I was on about with Bale, who's probably had one of the best individual seasons along with Suarez in the last 10 years. That last season for Arsenal was unbelievable. Like everything he touched went in the back of the net without a doubt. So Jay, I'm assuming you're going to stick Harry Kane, and who's your other one?
I literally am not going to even argue about Harry Kane. If he's not up there, you guys just should not watch football. Robin van Persie, because he was a player, to be fair. When he was at Arsenal, he was class.
No, I agree. And like I said, I haven't put Kane in because I've gone for the 4-2-3-1 position, and I think Van Persie at his
That's
best.
no excuse, Keaton. That's no excuse. Don't want to
Van
hear it.
Persie at his best is better than Kane at his best, and that is not even up for debate. When has Kane had a season like Van Persie had in his last Arsenal season?
138 goals in 200 games.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about one season. How many goals has Harry Kane got?
Don't matter.
Van Persie gets in there.
Best goal scoring record after Alan Shearer and Aguero. No debate for me. No debate. I'm not even gonna, guys. If you want to go for it, go for it. But I'm just not even having anything against Harry Kane. Literally, Harry Kane.
Oh, that was a dive. Dan, what about you?
It's been disallowed.
You're not allowed. Not with Harry Kane. Sorry, mate. Do carry on.
For me, it was pretty easy. I'm gonna have to go for
The goal got disallowed.
Yes.
For me, it's easy. I've had to go Robert Soldado. I thought
easily Fernando Llorente.
Literally, it is for me. This is actually really, really easy. The striker for me. This is probably the easiest one. I'd probably say, and for me, it's clearly Harry Kane. Clearly, I mean, you can't. Van Persie had one good season at the last year, well, maybe two. Harry Kane for about 4 years now has scored 20+ goals every season.
But what has Kane won?
That's not.
That doesn't matter.
Okay, forget that. Has Harry Kane won a personal PFA Player of the Year?
Yeah.
How many?
One, does it matter? Doesn't matter. If you've got 130, right, I've written it down, Keaton, because I knew you were going to do this.
Right, I'm getting Robin Van Persie's up. Let's go.
But, right, Robin Van Persie scored 94 goals in 194 games.
Yeah.
Harry Kane scored 138. Well, it was 138. It's just been chalked off in 200 games. So he scored 40 more goals in that same time.
Robin Van Persie scored 37 goals for Arsenal in the 2011-2012 season. 37.
That wasn't all Premier League though.
No, Premier League. I'll have a look at Premier League. But
Premier League is about 30 he scored.
Yeah, I think it was 30, which is absolutely. I don't think Harry Kane has Harry Kane scored 30 in a season.
Yeah, but do you remember Harry Kane scored the most goals in a calendar year above Messi and Ronaldo?
Yeah, he's had his good moments, and I like Harry Kane, I do.
But we're going to stats, which we're not.
Even as an Arsenal fan, I have to admit, Van Persie only had like 1.5 brilliant years at Arsenal. The rest he was playing left wing. He wasn't even playing up front.
No, I'd say he had three. I'd say he had 3 decent seasons at Arsenal. 20. There we go. 38 appearances, 30 goals, 25 appearances, 18 goals, 16 appearances, 9 goals, which isn't bad for the last 3 seasons of his Arsenal career in the 10s, 11, 12 seasons.
In 10 years, when we're talking about Harry Kane as the record Premier League goal scorer,
I don't think he'll get there.
When we talk about world-class strikers, do we ever talk about Van Persie? No.
I do.
Do you?
I do. In the last decade.
Shall we do a little thing?
What?
Best striker you've ever seen in your life. Not
Thierry
Pro
Henry.
League. Anything.
Thierry
Henry?
Or Ronaldo R9 when he was on form.
What? Striker?
See, Keaton knows. R9.
R9 on form when he was like 20, 21, Inter Milan days, Barcelona days. Unbelievable.
I will have to say... I would say Suarez. I would have to agree with Brazil Ronaldo. I thought Suarez was absolutely world class as well, and Lewandowski was good. I like him.
Oh, you'd have Suarez over Torres every day. 13-14 Suarez season when he banged like 4 or 5 hat tricks and like smashed Norwich with them 4 goals. It was unbelievable.
Well, I'll tell you who else on their prime was Eto'o when he was at Barca. He was incredible.
He's a decent player. Decent player.
And then he went to Inter and then like scored to get him into the Champions League final and took the picture on the camera. Do you remember that?
I saw her.
That was class.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of tough decisions in there, but I think we've all made our case quite well. So we're just about to get into the half time at the game. So we'll let Jay watch the second half while me and Dan laugh at them losing to Sheffield United.
I was going to say we're not going subs, are we? Jesus.
No.
Aaron Lennon. No, I'm
Philip
just joking.
Senderos.
Yeah, Philippe Senderos and Theo Walcott would
I was
definitely
going
be
to
in there.
put Kolasinac in my team just for comedy value, but
Well, Tierney,
Yaya Sanogo, the best set of striker ever signed for Arsenal.
Kieran Tierney for left back was close to going in for me.
do you know what? I was very actually loved Dan's Soldado comment. That literally did crack me up.
Soldado is
Like literally
absolutely
signed for like 30 million. It's the worst striker I've ever seen in my life.
It was pretty
Soldado.
awful, wasn't it?
I was going to put what's it, Vincent Janssen, whatever his name is, as
Vincent
well.
Janssen, he's doing well again, isn't he?
Mate, we've got a long history of crap strikers. Roman Pavlyuchenko, who was one of my favourites.
I thought he did well. He did really well in the World or Euros, didn't he, for Russia that one time?
And Llorente actually got us into the Champions League like semi-finals.
Yeah,
so that's
they've all had their little bits of bobs,
talking too much.
Oh, that game against Ajax when Lucas Moura decides to get out that hat trick, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Lucas Moura decides not to score nowadays because he's just lost it.
I remember that famous quote, something about Tottenham being in the Champions League final for 2 minutes, DVD.
Well, thanks for coming on, Jay.
As a Tottenham fan, that was the greatest moment of my life.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
I cried 2006 Champions League final when Barcelona when fucking... Was it Belletti scored the winner? Or was it last? Who scored the winner? I've forgotten who it was now.
Belletti,
10 men. Sol Campbell scores a great header. And then we could see 2 goals in like 5 minutes. Right?
Yeah, Eto'o and Belletti, Henrik Larsson with both assists.
Yeah, that was horrible. Actually.
Well, we can talk about Champions League failings on another episode, I'm sure.
All right, you can go if you want. It's all right.
I do want to go. I want to watch the rest of the game. But thanks, Jay, for coming on.
All right.
And thanks, Dan, for coming on.
Thanks, Keaton.
Thank you very much. Cheers, guys.